Hey all y'all guys, gals, theys, and gays, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about trends, although specifically trends that I have seen pop up organically in just my day-to-day content consumption, but specifically things that I have seen that basically don't apply to me. Trends that I am not participating in, trends that aren't anything that make my particular fashion loving heart go pity pat. I do love talking about trends that I like and that are things that I am looking forward to find while thrifting, see if I have something in my wardrobe already that I can apply to myself. But I think it's also really good to occasionally ground ourselves and remind ourselves that just because something is a trend, just because it's something that we see repeatedly over and over again on our feeds, doesn't necessarily mean that we need to participate in it or we're not fashionable because we're not in the know with what is seen as trending. Trends are exactly that. They are cyclical, they're in, they're out, they rotate. Very few things that come into fashion stay for an extended period of time, and even though just because they do stay, again, doesn't mean that we need to apply them to ourselves. I think that sometimes in the pursuit of perfecting and expressing our personal style, we're sometimes kind of fear-mongered into like, oh, you have to be trendy, oh, you have to be this, oh, you have to be now. Where I find it helpful to remind myself that I like what I like, and I am no less myself or no less personal stylish for not wanting or not being interested in things that I'm seeing that are popular. And with this, talking about trends, this is entirely personal. If you see things that in this that you love, because clearly people do love this, and if this is their shit, this is their style, that is fan-tucking-fastic. You keep doing you, boo-boo, because there is no one else quite like you. But I love hearing myself talk. Let's just get into some of these. And the first one being a very specific. This is talking about a it bag that has started rising in popularity. And as it has risen in popularity, I've seen a couple videos talk about it bags that are good to invest in, that are gonna like rise in value, which as someone who has purchased and does purchase overpriced handbags, I really dislike the narrative that purchasing a handbag for its future value, because with trends, what's an it bag today or tomorrow probably isn't going to be an it bag next year. I think trends can be a very deceptive way to make us believe that we need something just because it's popular and just because it's rising in value. And that is the Chloe Paddington bag. And this isn't a, ooh, I hate this bag, or this isn't a, ooh, don't buy into trendy bags. This is definitely a case of a couple, I would say maybe a year and a half ago, I was looking at this particular bag and I was like, that's cute. That's nice. That's trendy. That's very early, mid 2000s-esque, which is definitely a vibe and a style and an era that I really like hearkening to in my fashion sense. But what I've come to learn about myself and what I like to wear is being, again, very aware of deal breakers when it comes to things, because looking at this, while it's cute, while it's nice, while it's pretty, while it's trendy, it's aesthetically pleasing, it's just not my thing. I like a bag that, while maybe being relaxed, it has a bit more emphasis on structure before the relaxation. Case in point, I love me my Mulberry Bayswater, which has a very nice streamlined structure, but then with age and with it just its natural nuances as a design, it has a little bit of relaxation while still holding that shape. And the Chloe Paddington just isn't it for me. It's got that big giant buckle thing, which in one of my more recent handbag rotations, I had a vintage Fendi that had a big old giant buckle heavy thing that gave me so much agita when wearing. But this is just a great example for me of something that's very pretty and aesthetically pleasing. It's got great street style look, very Olsen twins going off to the Met Gala, to Starbucks, Dunkin', wherever it is they're going. But I'm not going to be investing in like I think they're going for like $800-900 on like the real. And when I was looking at them, you could probably find one for around $400 to $500. And it'll be interesting to see in the next 1, 2, maybe 3 years how much value these are retaining. This next one might be, if I find it in the wild and I'm able to try it on, I might change my opinion. But this is a pretty big one in street style, which when it comes to my fashion inspiration and styling that I'm really drawn to for myself, inspiration for me, street style, while I really like seeing it and I love seeing the stuff that people put together, a lot of elements of it don't really ring true to myself and how I like to dress. And one of those silhouettes has been the jort, which I love the idea of the silhouette. I am definitely into playing with silhouettes and structures and shapes. I find that if I'm going to be going for this particular look, I would probably be more inclined to just go for like a knee length, just below the knee denim skirt. I like the idea of the practicality of a short while giving a different look. And while the idea of these might not be too far off base for me, I do think this comes down to, again, fit. If I were to find them at the thrift and I'd be able to put them on, see how they look on my body. I think they look really cute with a simple tank top, with a baby tee, with an oversized tee. Again, I have seen them consistently on my feed with those street style content creators, ones that I follow, as well as others that just pop up. It's just a matter that for me, on the face value, looking at it, it's not something where I'm like, I gotta go out and I gotta find jorts, I gotta find this and bring it in, incorporate it into my style. They're there, they're cute. I think they look really nice styled in a couple different ways. But for me and my non-street style aesthetic, it's just not something that I see that goes, that's a trend I need to participate in. Though it will be interesting if I find some in my size at the thrift that I can be like, oh, maybe that is a silhouette that does all the things for me. But if that happens or not, who knows? Next is a trend. It's always interesting when it comes to colors and materials and what's trending, because I feel like when it comes to trend rotation and how cyclical things are, we can get lost in wanting to have those pieces that make it look like we are in the know, we are on trend. And we sometimes don't take into consideration, again, our personal preferences that for me, when shopping secondhand, especially online, can be deal breakers. But suede is very trending. If y'all didn't know, you know now. I am a strong advocate for leather goods. I love leather shoes, leather handbags. I recently invested in, it took me forever to find the one that I wanted, a leather jacket. And while I love the look of suede, suede is a material that, at least for me, maybe I'm dumb, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I find it a bit more difficult to wear day to day, and something that involves a bit more care and consideration for maintaining the quality and look of the items crafted in suede. If I want to participate in the trend, I have these fantastic vintage exhilaration boots here that have got the suede leather upper. I do highly recommend, if you're doing footwear in suede, to clean it, get it all good, and then either do it yourself. There are plenty of online tutorials, or go to your local cobbler and have this shit scotch guarded. I watched one young lady do a tutorial on her suede Stuart Weitzman over the knee-high boots. It's just really important to think about the item, not just in its trendiness, but also in what you will have to do for it to maintain it. And I also find that with suede, I would obviously be like, well, we want to advocate for the leather. When things are trends, it's not just the high quality versions that we're talking about. It's all the stuff that's going to be on Shein, on Temu, on a wide variety of fast fashion trickle down effects that's going to be nothing but awful, nasty, disgusting faux suede. And I think it's important to remind ourselves that while these things do exist within like runway and higher end brands and ones that are going to be using the natural materials, there is still that significant amount of trickle down. And when you have a trend that can be manufactured in a week, a couple weeks by these massive fast fashion companies, and I'm going to be doing a video talking about how fashion is a lot faster than we think, and it's not just those hot button ones that are guilty. It takes away from the practicality and the value of using a high quality material like suede. My mom and I were actually thrifting at a local kind of mom and pop one, and they had a beautiful suede full coat. It had paneling. I pulled it out and was just, that is gorgeous. My mom was like, well, you need to try it on. I was like, no, I don't, because I know for a fact that even if I buy it, I'm not going to wear it. Over suede and like just regular leather, I'm just not going to go for the suede. I honestly prefer nubuck over suede, which I think is fairly similar. Please correct me down below. I unfortunately don't have a degree in fashion or textiles. But again, just taking the time to know yourself, and just because you find something, because Jesus, if I were a reseller and I'd seen that coat, like it probably would have been max $10 at this thrift store, and it was a immaculate suede coat. But just try to remember who you are and be in tune to what you actually like and will wear. And in also talking about street style, which again, I understand, I don't live in a metropolitan. I'm not walking in New York. I'm not walking in LA. I'm not in Paris or all those places. And I also don't live a editorial or fashion life. I feel like sometimes when we see trends being discussed and being worn by fashion influencers, is they're able to wear those things in a more free, nonchalant way because they exist in spaces that allow them to. Now, that's not saying that you shouldn't just wear whatever the fuck you want, because just be you, express yourself. I will always be an advocate of wear whatever the fuck you want. But I sometimes think that social media, while showing us all these fantastically curated people, we sometimes tend to forget that they're able to be fantastical because of the line of work that they're in, because of where they live. And just because you can't express yourselves in that same kind of over-the-top way doesn't make your personal style or you any less fashionable. But the big one for me, and this is huge in a variety, this isn't just street style, it's also very high fashion, but kind of over-encompassing, though it could have all of its own little subcategories, is feet shoes. And maybe I just don't have enough whimsy. I'm just not whimsical and ethereal and fantastical enough to appreciate and to wear the feet shoes. Now, I'm not talking just the Mason Margiela tabby shoes. I'm talking also, I've seen really popular, the ones where it's like all the feet shoes, all the toes. And that is something that I have seen repeatedly worn by so many different people. Again, a couple of people that I follow are super strong advocates of the feet shoes. Other people, and this is really just a case of something that's extremely popular in a variety of fashion spaces that I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm sorry. I don't have enough whimsy. I'm not cool enough. I'm not fashion savvy enough to appreciate the juxtaposition of nature and textiles brought together in a shoe that likes to remind us what our feet look like. There's a kind of like toe shaped looking one from Vivienne Westwood that when it comes to the visible feet as art, that would be kind of the closest to what I'm like, yeah, I could jive with that. I could run with that. But that style doesn't exist in any kind of shoe that I would actually wear. If I am wearing heels, it's going to be a big old block heel with a little bit of platform in somehow. I'm not going to be wearing just a regular heel. I did for a long while. I went to church every Sunday, every week. And if there is one place that you are able to throw an absolute fit, it is at Sunday church. And I wore heels all the fucking time. I had a vast collection of amazing heels, but for me and my 35-year-old self and the fashion that I wear now, I need a little bit of support. And with the feet shoes, I keep seeing it. And for those who love it and for those that wear it, live your whimsy, live your best life. I've seen it done very whimsical. It's also got very sporty elements, which is again an element of style that I just don't really have a lot in. It's just not me. Of the Spice Girls, I'm definitely more baby scary and not as much sporty. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on feet shoes down below, and if there are any ones, because there really is kind of a sliding scale of just a little bit of foot to a whole lot of foot. Another thing that I have seen being very popular, and again in those street style, very high fashion areas, and again, content creators that exist within those fashion spaces where they're able to be more just overtly expressive, are teeth gems, where you go in and you get all kinds of bedazzlement all up in your teeth. I'm not sure if this is an element of resurgence of, again, that Y2K early 2000s. Speaking of the Spice Girls, Sporty Spice, my girlfriend who loves the Spice Girls, and Melanie C is her favorite Spice Girl, aka Sporty Spice. She was like, for the longest time, I wanted a tooth gem because of her, you know? And so I wonder if that does have an element to it, but this is again one of those things that while I think it is a nice, maybe like it's subtle, but not subtle, it's kind of caught between this conundrum of, oh, just a little something, something, but also like, you got bling on your teeth, which is definitely a cultural phenomenon that has existed for many years. And there are teeth gem stylists. I've watched quite a couple videos of content creators I like. Come with me to my tooth gem styling appointment. And it looks really cool. It's very streetwise. It's very edgy, but it's one of those things that just doesn't have a level of practicality. And while I think it is something that it's not like so far out there that if you're not existing within those fashion areas that you couldn't do. But I think it's also something that if you do it and you're just kind of rocking up to your whatever job, you know, you're a bank teller, you're working at fast food, you're a cashier, and you're just like, yeah, look at my shiny bling bling. Which, like I always say, if it's you, just fucking do it. But for me and for my style, I think this is, again, one of those things that is sort of normalized, trendified by people or fashion influencers who have more leeway to do whatever they want, and seeing it can kind of normalize it. Well, I feel it's just definitely for me, not something I'm going to be doing, simply something that I've seen that's really trendy and really popular that I think exists within certain spaces while is also trying to be a bit normalized. Next one is definitely a case of personal, this is not something that I would wear, which is what this whole thing is about. And I'm just trying to focus on the whole observing trends while also, appreciating them and sometimes seeing ones that are like, ooh, that's me all over the place, while also being like, I don't have to participate because I know that's not me. I am part of a handbag subreddit, and one bag, I have seen this, so many street styles, so many just popular. Miu Miu is freakishly popular right now. Prada is freakishly popular. These, I believe the style is East West, where it's a kind of a elongated baguette shape with really long straps and typically a kind of slouchier, more relaxed overall shape. And while I really do honestly like the look of these, I'll have some specific pictures. And when I saw some of these, either by Miu Miu or Prada or all the other high fashion and fast fashion and mid fashion brands that have, again, glommed onto this, it's really just not for me. It's kind of close to the Coach swing tote, which is a bag that I will forever be on the hunt for in my color and in my price point. Looking at these other ones, I just know, again, it's not for me. I'm not a typically really big into slouchy bags. I do love the extra elongated handles, though I do think some of them do look a bit, exaggerated for the sense of exaggeration. I like a handle that's able to hold itself nice on my shoulder, maybe if I'm able to do it on the elbow like that. And these East-West bags just don't have that versatility for me. And while I definitely used to be someone who heavily participated in bag trends, I spent a very long time in my designer handbag journey being like, oh, well, I need that one because it's popular. Oh, I need that one because it's trendy and it's one of the it bags to have. If you're a bag person, this is one of the ones to get. I love bags and I love a wide variety of bags. I just think this particular style isn't necessarily something that's timeless in the sense of it will be able to transcend seasons, transcend different styles, different aesthetics. I find that it's very street style, very fashion cred sort of thing. And while it's really popular in this particular trend cycle right now, I just don't see myself. Again, I would want to get like the Coach Swing Zip, which is kind of adjacent to it. It's got a more elongated strap. It's got kind of that same longer structure, but definitely nowhere near as slouchy as some of these. When it comes to street style, there's a lot of not just carrying your bag, a lot of holding your bag, I look cool, I'm walking, I'm whatever, and that's just not it for me, and that's okay. I can appreciate something and enjoy the look of it without needing it in my life. Another super popular trend that I have seen in so many different content creators, again, people I follow, fashion content that just pops up organically on my feed, and that is the polka dot, which has been a tried and true staple print for so many years in so many different ways. It is very big in street style. It's very whimsy. One of my favorite TikTok, although I'm not on TikTok, but she's on Instagram, is Almond MILF, and she's got so much whimsy, so much fairy tale, so much fantastical, and polka dot is definitely one of those things that I regularly see her talk about. I see her thrift, and I love print. I am definitely a slut for paisley. I absolutely adore stripes, which I found I was listening to one video talking about the oversized rugby shirt is very popular right now. And so stripes are still having a thing too. But I have seen this continued insurgence and resurgence of polka dots in many different ways. And there is a content creator on Instagram that I talk about. She discusses trends that she feels are something that are going to last or ones that are destined for the landfill. And she said polka dots, not necessarily in their entirety, but trendy polka dots in like specific pieces. She said there was a skirt from Zara that she's already started seeing secondhand on Vinted, Depop, Poshmark, Mercari, all of those. And while polka dots themselves may not be a disposable trend, but those super trendy pieces associated with certain prints don't really have a long-lasting effect. And I have just not found any item of polka dot print that has really just spoken to me. My mother really loves polka dots, although she doesn't wear them. My girlfriend really loves polka dots. She's like, oh, they're so nice. They're a little bit of tweed, a little bit of whimsy. It can be very classy. It can be very sophisticated. But for me, I've got the prints that I like, that I know I reach for, and maybe somehow in the future, I find that one great item that's got polka dots that just ticks every single other box for me. But this is, again, an example of something that exists within the fashion sphere that I'm just like, I love the people that are rocking it. And I've seen the polka dots, the matching. You got the polka dots and the stripes and the polka dots and the houndstooth and the plaid. And I'm like, pattern, mix it up. I'm just not polka dot centered enough to really bring that in. I can still have whimsy. I can still have style. I can still be flittering through the fields. It's just not gonna be in polka dots, and that's okay. If you made it this far, give yourself a giant gold fucking star. You deserve it for listening to me go on for over a half hour at this point. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thought on the trends I discussed, trends that you've seen that you're like, these are cool, not my thing, or even trends where you're like, Jesus, that's fucking ugly, and ones that you think are really great. Trends really are just that. They are not arbitrary fashion rules that we have to participate just because they exist within the fashion stratosphere. Keep it simple. Keep it yourself. Love what you love. Be willing to try new things, but don't feel bad if you're not constantly trying every single new thing, because while personal style is a exploratory and a way to find new things, personal style is just that, and is also rooted in things that you go to day, over and over and over again. We don't have to constantly be like, push yourself out of your comfort zone, because you like what you like, and that's okay. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah!